Hi everyone, and welcome to another fantastical episode of Trip Around Multiverse. Your host, the guy also known as Jeff, and
Oh, right. Okay. I thought you were gonna, because he doesn't just say Jeff, he says some other stuff,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's me called
Uh,
Jeff.
all right. So I just assumed you were gonna say the other stuff, and I was waiting for you to say them.
I couldn't
All right.
remember.
And the most blatant product placement in history, T.Y. Chung.
Oh yeah, that I loved it though. And we have seen Shazam: Fear of the Gods, and
Yeah.
we're gonna review it. Obviously the first. We're gonna go through non-spoilers first, and then
Yeah.
we'll gradually
Yeah.
get to the
So
spoilers.
I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. I don't. It's an action movie at the end of the day, right?
Yeah.
And that's what it fulfills.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will say there was a lot less Billy Batson
Yeah.
than I expected,
Yeah.
which was noticeable. But then I think it does make sense because of stuff later on. Like, I think it works within the context of the movie why there's less Billy Batson and more Shazam.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that.
Yeah, don't really say it why, but you can kind of it's implied enough. Well, yeah, certain things you're like, all right, I can work out why he's more in that form than not.
Yeah, I can see that.
Mm-hmm.
To me, it wasn't a problem. But yeah.
No. I like that the beginning of the movie basically is a recap of the previous movie. So when you walk in there, it's like, yeah, this is what's happening at this point, and then we're just going to, start the next story.
Yeah.
5 minutes in, you know what's going on.
Yeah.
Ish.
Which I thought was a very good way to do it as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, actually, good look. I think there's some. The special effects all look good.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
There might have been patchy green screen here and there.
Yeah.
But overall, I think is really good. Yeah. I mean, because I don't want to say they've got a bigger budget now, but it's more fantastical than the previous movie.
Yeah, there is, isn't it? Yeah.
We'll say that Lucy Liu's English accent because why would a Greek god speak in English accents anyways, right? But her English accent was kind of dodge.
You know what's funny about that? Yeah, she had an English accent, but the girl Anne didn't really have one. So I was like,
yeah,
why didn't you bother?
But then again, I will say that Helen Mirren had an English accent, obviously.
Yeah, because obviously.
Right, so Lucy Liu's ones flitted back and forth, but you could just say, as we are probably just going to say, is well, the other girl just straight up did not have a. I don't know if she ever attempted one, to be honest, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
So, but you could say as the middle child, Lucy Liu's one goes back and forth because she, is the transition. I don't know.
Okay, yeah, that's kind of. That does make sense, if I'm honest. Yeah.
Not that they probably intended to.
No. That's just something we filled in the blanks with.
yeah. I thought the characters like Freddie Freeman, they make sense why they do certain things that they do, as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say, so strange enough, the movie doesn't seem to be doing particularly well at the box office.
Yeah.
But I would say watch it if you enjoy. Yeah, it's a good fun, bombastic kind of action movie.
Yeah, because like for me personally, because like I went to saw my parents and my dad asked me about this, and I was like, at this moment, I'm kind of leaning. I kind of enjoy the more fun, silly superhero movies rather than kind of what we've had over the last 10 years, where they're sort of like not hyper serious, but like they're serious and they have like little jokey bit moments.
Yeah.
So like that's why this and Ant-Man kind of resonate more with me because they're just sort of like fun-hearted adventure movies.
Yes.
It's just
and they are kids playing superheroes.
Yeah.
When I say that, it means like they're not as good as they could be. But remember, they're children in the form of adults when they're doing that. So,
yeah. Because like I saw some complain, and I was like, you kind of missed the whole point of this movie. Like people were complaining that when Billy Batson is Billy Batson,
Yeah.
He's kind of more mature and stuff. But when he's Shazam, he's silly. I was like,
Yeah.
because when he's Billy Batson, he's more like concerned of being like, I'm a tough kid, blah, blah, blah. But when he's Shazam, he's got all the confidence and he can just be silly. So it kind of makes sense, doesn't it?
In the first movie, I think there was personally, I thought the difference between Shazam, which we sometimes will call Captain Marvel because that's his actual name. So if we slip back and forth,
Yeah.
The difference between Shazam and Billy Batson was very apparent because he played them. They seemed a lot different, but that's because I guess Billy Batson had to deal with more serious life issues like abandonment.
Yeah, exactly. He's got a really dark backstory. Yeah.
Yeah, and Shazam, didn't have to deal with that, so he kind of but he seemed more childlike than I think he should have. Whereas this, I think there was a better balance because they did seem like the same guy.
Yeah.
Just a bit more, like you're saying, he's a bit more lighthearted.
Yeah.
And he's like, when he's in his adult form, he just tries not to worry about that other
being
stuff.
Human. Yeah, sort of thing, like, maybe being like aged out with adoption and stuff like that. Yeah, something you don't really want to think about.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's cool. I don't. I think the story made sense.
Yeah, made sense.
In what they were attempting to do and how everything wrapped up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Heels be healing. Is the best way I can put it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's a decent amount, like, okay, there's logic, right? And there's the logic that people sometimes take to the next level when it's like, no, you don't need to do that. And I was like, all right, well, yeah, but you've still got like 50 minutes of the movie, so I guess you're gonna be doing that.
But there was also bits I was like, that's gonna take a dark turn, but it didn't. Thankfully, it didn't. I was like, I'm happy about that because that would have been very weird.
Yeah. So all of these, all of light-hearted, good, fun.
Yeah,
is the best way I can put it.
Yeah, I like the family dynamic. I felt it was pretty cool. The parents are in it a lot more, and I like the parents.
Yeah. They got to do more things than before. Because before they were just parents, but at least here there's something. Yeah. We get some guest appearances and returns. Some people. There's a character that returns, and you're like, all right, and they give an explanation, and you're like, all right, fair enough. Moving on.
Yeah. And the post-credit scenes are both quite good.
Yeah.
They're both quite funny.
Yeah. That's why this movie doesn't take itself. It is okay. It takes itself seriously, but it doesn't take itself too seriously.
Yeah.
It knows like what it is as a movie. Yeah.
Yep. And it does it well.
Well. Exactly. So I can't beef on it.
No, I can't find any. Literally, I come out like I thoroughly enjoyed that. I hope there's a third one.
I mean, there's sometimes when you're watching it and you're like, huh? But why? Okay, Yeah. But overall, I think it's quite enjoyable.
Yeah. And like they explain themselves a lot in it as well, which makes it kind of some bits you're like wait, and then they explain, okay, that works out.
And some things I think they don't need to explain too much about certain other things. But then again, it's a mystical, magical world.
Yeah,
you don't need every explanation because it's magic. At some point, you can't break it down like it's science because it's not.
No.
Yeah, you just kind of like
magic.
I mean,
baby.
Yeah. But as we know, the gods that make up Shazam's powers, Solomon's not even a god, anyways, right?
No.
Yeah. And then you got the Greek gods and Roman gods and whatever. So hey,
yeah, man, it'd
have been cool to have the different types of gods make up. Well, the thing is, how do you tie it all together? If you're saying, all right, there's also Greek gods, right? But there's also Roman gods and all this other stuff. So yeah,
and how the way they're going with the DC would be a bit weird to do at that moment in time.
Do you think? It's not doing particularly well because the DC universe, the DCEU, is getting cut, and people know it, and they're like, what's the point in being invested in watching this in general? Like even the Flash and Aquaman, even though people will probably watch the Flash and Aquaman, but what's the point in watching them if there's not anything attached to it going forward?
That could be that could actually be the reason why. Yeah,
I just think it's getting a. I don't know. I'm surprised it's getting less views, less money than I expect. Yeah. But then again, yeah.
When did
I guess
number 1 come out?
2019.
Oh, 2019. I would say maybe because of the gap between the two, but no. Well, it
is quite a long gap, by the way. It's about 4 years.
Yeah,
I see that, but what I mean is it's not a huge gap, right? But what it is like because they're the kids, you expect them to be filming it a bit closer to like a shorter gap because then they don't age out too much.
Yeah.
Though I have to say, Ash Angel has bulked up.
Yeah.
It's not massive or anything, but he's like, oh yeah, he just beefed himself up a little bit.
I think that could. Plus, COVID didn't really help everything, did it?
As what most people do during COVID, work out, right?
Yeah. But hopefully it picks up because I would like to see a sequel.
Yeah, I'm kind of not surprised if there isn't, but only because that universe is getting killed anyways. So.
Well, I don't think it's getting killed. I think this Flashpoint thing's gonna kind of take what it wants and bring it into that universe.
Yeah. See, I don't get, and we'll probably see it when we get there. Yeah, when Flashpoint happens. But it's just like, so might as well just wipe everything and start afresh. Like, saying that stuff happened in like, as DC does when they do their crisis in the comics. Yeah, stuff happened and stuff didn't happen. But this is a new, fresh version of that universe. So you just pick it and choose, kind of. It could have happened with different iterations of the character, or it could have happened in the past of these characters.
Yeah.
But we're moving on with the next life of these characters, which may not be played by the same people.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
Bit. It's like I'm excited for what's coming next from DC Universe, but I'm kind of like confused as well. I'm like thinking, so you had a huge hit like Peacemaker. If you're resetting the universe, then
exactly. Well, that's the thing, isn't it?
Point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. So costumes look good, by the way.
Yeah. I kind of prefer these ones to the last one.
I think the last one had too much of a built upper body. And there's the slimmer looking upper bodies, which look better.
Yeah.
Different shades as well and texture.
Yeah.
So you just gave them some stuff to, like when you see it, it's not flat. Kind of, if you know what I mean. But it's not just decoration for the sake of decoration. I know that the previous one had that light up.
Which I did like, but I just thought that must be super uncomfortable to wear. But
well, no, when you see the black lightning suit and it lights up and it's big and bulky.
But that looks so budget. But
yeah. But here, that's probably why the upper body was massive because of that. Here, they do have the light up ones, but when they're in the dark sometimes, right? But they look better.
Yeah.
More well, maybe they CG then. That's why they could do it flat. I don't know.
Yeah,
but I prefer the costumes here. I did like the costume of the gods had as well.
Yeah, man, they were good.
Yeah, I did like. I was going to say the costume of this particular the character that returns. The character that returns.
Yeah.
The end scene. His modern day costume, right?
Yeah.
Styling profiling. Woo!
Yeah. Oh, jeez. Hilarious. Oh,
yeah.
Forgot about that.
Yeah.
So let me just. We're 40 minutes in, so yeah, we can talk about the spoilers now, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yes. So, spoilers.
Yes.
Where should we start the spoilers? We just go through the basic gist of the film, I guess.
Yeah, like I said at the beginning of it, he's lying on a bench. Shazam is lying
Yeah.
on the couch as though he's talking to a psychiatrist,
Yeah.
and he's basically giving the history of the previous film, how he got the powers and whatnot and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And when it turns to the other side, he's like, "Dude, I'm a pediatrician. I'm not for like
This
I
isn't
take
for
care of
me.
children."
Yeah. And they're like, oh, well, a friend of mine, Billy Batson, even though from him doing this, kind of like gave away his secret identity.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because he kind of like says, oh, my friend, Billy Batson, then kind of goes back to himself. And you could tell the guy's like, wait, so are you and Billy Batson one and the same?
Well, yeah, no one would expect that.
Yeah. And then, yeah, so that happens, and then he explains everything, and then a little news. He goes, "Oh yeah, it's not hostage situation." Wait, hostage.
It does kind of say it's like a terrorist situation, right?
Yeah. And then he flies off, and then this is when we get introduced to the Daughters of Atlas.
Mm-hmm.
Because we agree, transporting to not ancient, we're transported to Athens, which I didn't know it was Athens until later on, where this tour guide is talking about this staff that has magical...
This tour guide, by the way, is speaking in American English. I mean, he's making an accent, it's speaking English in Athens.
Yeah.
Right, you know?
Yeah. Well, I guess that would make sense because a lot of tourists go to Athens.
Okay.
So, I guess you will have English-speaking tour guides there.
Why not?
Yeah.
Why not Greek gods speak English? So hey, whatever.
But yeah, exactly. All gods apparently speak the Queen's English, which makes no sense. But anyway, and not just in this, in general. But anyway, and he's explaining the staff, and these two mysterious people come dressed in Greek armor. And he's like, "Oh yeah, you guys look authentic." Then he starts smashing on the casing of the staff. He's like, "Dudes, you can't be doing this." And then they smash it open, throw off their helmets, and you find out that it's Helen Mirren, and Lucy Liu,
aka Hesperia and Callisto. Yeah.
And they get the staff, and they're like, "Oh, now we got our powers back." And the dude's like, "Oh, that's weird." So Lucy Liu uses her power of persuasion.
Yeah. Of verbal hypnosis.
Yeah.
I don't know what they call it.
And it says release the chaos. So everyone just... Sorry, go on.
This I was going to say, and this is where the stuntman, right? Because it's just random tourist, but he spears a lady. He just runs and proper spears her off out of her shoes.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, that those guys went for it, man.
Yeah, and then they start spreading the chaos, and everyone starts fighting and stuff. And the sisters are happy.
Yeah.
Because they've got chaos and they got the staff.
Yeah.
And
we can they kind of fill in the plot. Oh, we can get our powers back now and do unto the humans what they did to us, kind of.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
And then so they turn everyone into cement.
Yeah, because they're like, we are the Daughters of Atlas. See how because they had that Atlas statue there. Yeah. And he's holding up the world.
Yeah.
And they're like, all right, well, you people made the statue of our dad, whatever, right? So we're gonna turn you into statues.
Yeah. And they're like, oh, so they do that.
Yeah.
And they swore revenge on the person who has the wizard's powers now.
Yes. And then we get into the hostage situation that Shazam was talking about, which is Call of Duty.
Yeah. Which I was like, that's good. That's a good one. That was a good one.
Yeah. So Eugene, the Asian one, the Chinese one, he's like, Billy, come on, man. We got a hostage situation here, and you're talking about teamwork and whatnot. So we got to work as a team. And Billy's like, no, this is not exactly what I meant by working together as a team.
And then, so we are quickly reacquainted with all the family members.
Yeah.
Mary is angry because Darla put Skittles in her trousers.
Oh, white trousers.
White
So it's got
trousers.
red stains on it, and I was like, I was thinking of something else for a second. Right?
Yeah, like, that's a bit.
Yeah, but then they were talking about Skittles. I was like, okay, fair enough.
Which I thought was hilarious. And then we see Pedro and the mum watching baseball. And she goes, I knew you get into this. He's like, yeah, I sure do. And then he's looking at a magazine. It's got a very chiseled man in a baseball helmet. And you're like, oh.
But no shirt, no baseball shirt.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, okay.
I was
That's
like,
cool.
all right, okay. All right, we'll see.
And then we see Freddy as well. It was like, oh yeah, you know, maybe me and you can go and. He's basically trying to talk Billy into doing some superhero stuff. He's like, Billy's like, no, it's all for all. Is that their catchphrase?
No. What is it? All of us and none. No,
all of us and none of us. Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Everyone or no one. Everyone or no one.
Everyone. That's it. And he's like, no, but you know, we can do it. Come on, we get some practice. He goes, no, it's everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone. And then that's when on the news they hear that the bridge is collapsing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So they're like, okay, we need to go. And then,
well, he says the code word. I can't remember what it was about. Yeah. Oh, it's a sunny. Sure is a sunny day out there, or something, right?
Yeah,
and then everyone's
like,
right.
Yeah. And then this is where the dad also goes something about the house keeps getting hit by lightning. And you're like, I get it. So then they go off to they all Shazam, which is pretty cool. They walk down the street and go Shazam. They all go into their Shazam forms, and then they go to save this bridge where it starts off well.
But when they're flying towards the bridge and the parents are watching TV and they're talking about the Philadelphia fiascos.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, they must have. I mean, how did they get such notice? To be fair, they are children pretending to be adults, so they're not going to make the best choices. No. But even if you've got powers like that, how can you? I mean, there must be some. You must be able to do some stuff that has an upside enough to balance out. You know, if they're calling you the Philadelphia fiascos, you must have done quite a bit of stuff wrong.
Yeah, because it has been like a couple of years since the first one. So yeah, I'm kind of going with it's probably Billy that's doing all the damage rather than the others. But hey, Billy and Daria, because they're the not very smart ones. Yeah. And then they try to save the bridge.
Wait. Yeah, okay. Well, I was going to say something, but I'll say after the bridge. I'll say after bridge because it makes more sense.
Yeah. So they get everyone off the bridge. And they're like, hey, now we're going to stop this bridge from collapsing. And then they just collapse.
Yeah. The next shot is them saying, the bridge has collapsed. I'm here interviewing one of the, the people called, one of the superheroes here.
Yeah.
And he's interviewing Freddy.
Oh.
Freddy. And Freddy's like, what? Captain Marvel Jr. Well, okay, Shazam Jr. I don't know what Freddy. You know what?
Captain did you watch every the one power. Captain
no, did you watch the one with subtitles? Because
for some
reason my
screen. Same.
It just called it Superhero Freddy. It didn't get, Superhero Billy, Superhero Mary. It didn't give them actual names. I
think.
Which I thought makes sense because in Daredevil, when you put the subtitles on Daredevil, it says the man in the mask or the man in black or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But only in the last episode of Daredevil season 1, when he puts on the Devil suit, it calls him Daredevil.
Yeah.
Before he's actually named Daredevil, by the way.
Because they kind of did the same thing in this, didn't they? Yeah. Which is pretty smart.
Yeah. So and he's like, well, no, they call us the Philadelphia Fiascos, but we are not acknowledging that name.
No.
Yeah.
The
dad's watching the news going, wait a minute. He's counting how many there are. And he's like,
1, 2. And then
where are the
just
kids?
all peer in and he's like, oh, okay, there he is.
Yeah.
Oh, that was great. I love this show.
I think he was also catching on to the colloquialisms used by the children because they're like, wait a minute, that sounds familiar.
Yeah.
But the most familiar thing that should have happened is when he sees Mary Marvel,
Yeah.
and he goes, well, "That looks exactly like one of my kids."
Yeah, you're like, oh. And that's when I totally forgot that she's the same person, isn't it?
Yeah, but the thing is, I don't know why they didn't get I mean, I can see why they didn't get the previous lady back, because Mary's aging up to the age.
Yeah.
And it would make sense, right? But then the dad should have worked out quicker.
Yeah, but it might be one of those weird, stupid, not let's say wrestling quotes. Stupid film things where they like superhero film things where they see someone like half their chin or something and they can't recognize them even though you see that person every day of your life. But
to be fair as well, they might have deliberately avoided having her on camera because of it.
Yeah.
Though they see the film never acknowledges that she's a different person, which her transformation keeps her the same.
Yeah. They
could have just said something along the lines of, because they have a discussion later on, and I think they should have just said something like, "How come you know what? I'm guessing the way when they start talking about ages, they could just say, oh well, maybe that's why you stopped changing into the adult form because now you're an adult, done." But I think they're like super under the carpet, you know.
We explain it in another film, sort of thing.
Yeah.
We get another film. Yeah. Oh, jeez.
But so they come back and their dad's like, all right, maybe it isn't them. Even though you're like, but those superheroes have super speed, so they could be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll keep my eye on this sort of thing.
Yeah. He's raising question marks on him, and he's like, but maybe not. But to be fair, I mean, when you see, they don't look like. They look adults there and they don't look adults there. So you're like... Yeah, it's more of a leap than you think.
Yeah. More than leaps.
Yeah.
And then after that, we go back to Freddy at school. And he meets a new kid called Anne.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, yeah... She comes to him first because I think she knows that he's the kid that has superhero friends.
Well, that's the thing is like if you're watching without trailers or whatever, or looking at the cast or stuff like that, and you don't know that she is one of the antagonists of the film, it doesn't raise your suspicions that much. But when you're looking at it knowing, you're like, oh, right, I want to see how she knows,
Yeah.
Because I know he's being duped. Whereas when you're watching it, you're like, okay, so why is she befriending him specifically?
Yeah.
See,
for me, because I didn't watch the trailers, it was like, oh, okay, who's this lady? Then
I mean, look, he I think he's not. He's one of the more. I want to say it's only because he's got a disability, right? That people pick on him. Yeah. So, but he seems like one of the more nerdier kids in school that's into the stuff that other people might not be, right? Super whatever, right?
Yeah.
But that doesn't make him dislikable.
No.
Yeah. No. So you could be like, oh, you know what, this guy's cool. All right. This cool the Make-A-Wish thing we did, right? He got some notoriety because of the end of the last movie, which they do explain. So.
Yeah. Which I was like, they remember their sequel, the first.
Well, actually, is this when they say it as well? They like, oh, you're when he introduces himself. No, he doesn't.
No, he says it a bit later on. No, he explains it a bit later on. He explains it a bit later on.
Yeah.
So they say the whole Make-A-Wish thing, but
he meets Anne. Then the kids are they the kids from the previous film?
Yes, they are. Yeah. The bullies from the previous film.
Yeah, they want to throw him in the bin in front of the girl because that's what bullies do. Apparently, if you're a bully, right, a high school bully, and you see a hot girl, right, and you bully a weakling in front of her, and you about to throw him in a bin, that somehow impresses this girl. I'm not sure about the logic there.
It's stupid teenage logic. That's the way it is. It makes because I do honestly believe this is a real thing. People think, hey, if I bully someone in front of this hot chick, she's like, yeah, you know what? I like trash people. I'm gonna fall in love with this guy.
Yeah. It is behavior, but I think what it is as well, it's just like if I make her think that this guy here that I'm wedding is the chump,
Yeah.
she's not going to be attracted to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that doesn't going to make her be attracted to you.
Yeah, no.
If you're acting like a red flag, a walking red flag.
Exactly. Which is oh, the human race is stupid. But yeah.
Oh no, she'd be like, oh, he's so cool. He threw someone else in the bin. I wonder what he's going to do to me if I antagonize him. Oh,
Yeah.
shut up, you idiot.
That's a leap. But yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's like, that's a leap.
Yeah, and then you get one of them teachers. Yo, excuse me, what's going on here? We're about to dump Freddy. Oh no, he's just slipped over. Somehow bent his cane, even though they kind of been backbreaking his cane.
Yeah.
Right? And we're helping him up and there's been janitors. Yeah.
Yeah. It's hilarious.
So when they kind of like walk off, teacher's like, he's even though we've only seen the interaction from there to there, Freddy and this teacher. They seem like they've been like buddies.
Yeah. Which I liked. Which kind of made me sad what happens later on. But
yeah. But he's like, he's not trying to give Freddy props in front of Van.
No,
but he's just like, idiot kids will be idiot kids, and I spent my time in the bin when I was a kid. These things unfortunately happen, but then they're gonna end up punks, and you're gonna end up more than them.
Yeah, that's a good positive reinforcement. Now I like that.
Yeah, and then he's walking her. Well, he's bending his cane back, right? Yeah. And then his crutch, and then he's walking her to class.
Yeah,
and then he just shouts his name out for some reason.
Yeah. Well, funny thing before that was so you gonna walk me to class? No, why do I do that? Wait. What? Yeah, yes. You silly boy. Oh. Well,
and all these interactions, by the way, it's so much funny when you look back at it.
Yeah.
Later on, considering her age.
Yeah. And I make the joke about that later as well, which I thought was hilarious. Yeah. So then he gets to know doesn't realise that something's afoot with her, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
After that, if I remember correctly, we find out that the wizard is still alive.
Yeah.
And the sisters have him, and they're trying to get him to tell them who has his powers right now, so they can get their powers to put the stick back together, the staff back together, and
no.
Oh no, because they want to get the seed.
Yeah. The Tree of Might, right?
Yeah. Tree of
No, that's from Dragon Ball, by the way.
Dragon Ball. Still same thing, but yeah,
it's a Tree of Life or whatever it is.
Yeah, it's a help to bring back the Titans, basically.
Kind of. And what's the wizard calls him the champion?
Yeah.
Because no one, what's his name? And I think that's the point of this movie.
This is hilarious. Yeah.
Yeah. So Lou's like, well, first of all, the wizard turned to dust, right?
Yeah.
In the first movie, and obviously you're like, how is he still alive? But I guess what he did was wither away from the mortal realm on the Rock of Eternity.
Yeah.
Right. He didn't actually disintegrate.
No.
So he just withered. He just kind of went into another dimension, like when Piccolo died.
Yeah, and I thought that was good. Good explanation. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. I buy that. Wasn't it?
And then they're like, the only way that you gods can come back is if the staff was broken, because the staff is what has the power to keep you all at bay because of the spell.
Yeah. And they try to not hypnotize, because they try to do her words persuasion on him, and it doesn't work, does it?
Well, no, it does. He tries to fight against it, and then he ends up putting the stick back together and saying Shazam.
That's it. Yeah.
And then they're like, yeah. And then they're like, all right, now you've done. And then Helen Mirren uses her telekinesis powers to send him flying back into the wall.
Yeah.
But before that, he claws at the staff before being forced to hand it back. So yeah, he's got a little bit of what's it called? A splinter in his nail.
Yeah. And he's like, thank you, my friend.
Yeah.
Now I can send you to the Nether Realm. Not Nether Realm, but he sent you to tell the champions that I am not doing too good.
Yeah.
That's the way me putting it. And then after that,
this is where Freddy is in the cafeteria.
Wait, I think it is. Because
Yeah.
I know we may have missed a bit where Billy and no.
Oh no, yeah. Sorry, yeah, you're right. No. He goes to is it okay? So Billy's like, all right, now they go to the Rock of Eternity, which they've turned into a
layer,
a party room or something like that.
Yeah,
and they're like, yeah, we're just gonna recap exactly what went wrong.
Yeah.
And Freddy's like, nah, I got stuff to do.
Yeah.
And when he says stuff to do, he's actually looking out for other incidences so he can be a super. Oh, to be fair to him, he enjoys his superhero form more than the others because he's a cripple.
Yeah.
And this allows him to do stuff. So fair enough, it makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't want to say the other things less of more of a burden because they're kids, but just be like, we enjoy our childhood-ish. They're not taking it seriously enough, and Billy's trying to take it seriously, but he is also a child and is acknowledging that they have faults.
Yeah.
He's in that transition where he wants to be adult about it.
Yeah.
But he's a child trying to be an adult about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's just trying to be more responsible, but obviously doesn't have the mentality
to
enforce it.
Yeah, the brain capacity.
And Mary's like, yo, oh look. After everyone's gone, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, oh come on, please, people, don't leave me.
Yeah.
And she's like, look, I
get it.
I know what this is really about. Is because you're gonna age out like I did, right? And then I have to go to work and stuff like that. Like I have to get an education. I finish my education and go to work because I have to help with parenting, and they stop paying the child support stuff like that.
Yeah.
And you think you'll get tossed out and stuff like that if you don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's part of the adult life, and not you might look. Not to say you'll get thrown out of the family or anything like that, but you're gonna have to contribute.
Yeah.
Like I am.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, that's nice.
Yeah, and he's like, because they do know that he always turns to her.
Yeah.
For help.
Yeah.
Like game plan and stuff like that, because she's more adult than him, right?
Yeah.
She's more responsible than him, and it makes sense. It makes sense. So he's like, but how do you look at a guy who's supposed to be who's trying to be a leader if he defers to someone else? It kind of like doesn't help his case. Not necessarily help his case because he knows someone who knows more than him, so that's good. Yep. Yeah. So he's not trying to be all about him, but at the same time, I think what they point out is you defer to her too much.
Yeah.
Even though logically I get it, she's older than him. She does actually know better.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. But because she was already onto him,
Yeah.
Like don't think negatively. They're not going to throw you out.
No.
Once you hit 18, just because the checks stop coming in.
Yeah. And like we kind of missed a beat in the beginning where they're all about to go out and they're leaving. They all say bye, mum, and then mum says bye, Billy, and he goes bye. He calls her Rosa rather than mum.
Yeah.
And Dad's like, just give him time, it'll be fine. He'll get.
Yeah. But that's why I was saying it makes sense when he just stays in his Shazam form because he doesn't. It's kind of like he wants to hide away from.
He doesn't want to deal with those sort of
Yeah.
thing, and if he's a Shazam, he doesn't need to. He doesn't have to deal with that. He just,
Yeah.
being Shazam. Yeah, basically, yeah.
Yeah. So, then he goes back to Freddy.
Yeah.
In the cafeteria getting slop.
Yeah.
in his tray, right? And he's like,
Seems great. Yeah.
Yeah. And then Anne pops up next to him and goes, "Oh right, so yeah, can you show me? You are the that famous Make a Wish kid when all the superheroes came and ate dinner with you." And he's like, yeah. Lunch, yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah. And she goes, "Do you want to show me which table it was?" And he goes, yeah. It happened over here. And then they start chatting about how, yeah, I have a brother who just keeps on trying to tell me what to do and stuff like that.
Yeah, he's so overbearing, he's always on my back. And she's like, I got one too. And you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Not brother, a sister.
Sister.
But...
I got an older sister who does the exact same thing. It's like, yeah, but my brother's only like a month older than me. So like, yeah. But if you didn't know they were adopting and stuff, you'd be like, that makes no sense. But right.
Yeah. Which, by the way, I mean, you can see from his perspective, what's going on, because it's like, he wants to be more superheroing because he enjoys it, right?
Yeah.
And he's not too worried about the other things in his life, Freddy, that is,
Yeah.
But Billy is worried about the things in his Billy life, and he kind of the why they turn into superheroes is different.
Yeah.
But yeah, Billy's like, oh no. Wait, yeah. So Billy then appears kind of out of nowhere.
Yeah, he goes, "We need to talk."
Freddy, yeah, we need to talk.
He's like, oh, I suppose we.
Yeah, and then this is the guy. What did I say? What did I tell you about? He's telling me what to do. And Billy's like, yo, and he's like, all right.
Yeah. And
did we miss something, by the way?
I don't think we have.
Okay. All right. I thought. How does Billy find out about the Daughters of Atlas?
That's coming up next with the dream sequence thing.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Go on.
And then so they have their little discussion, and if I remember, doesn't Freddy? Yeah. Freddy Shazam's off.
Yeah. No. This is He's like okay. So their discussions makes about like Freddy running off and being his Shazam version, and Billy saying, "You look, man, we're supposed to be a group here. You can't just keep on running off and doing that." Because I think Freddy sometimes mucks up.
Yeah.
And reflects badly on everyone else.
Yeah.
That's why Billy's like, let's do it in a group because then we can have each other's backs.
Yeah.
But that doesn't always necessarily work out.
No,
they're not exactly the most strategic of people.
No, they are far from it.
Yeah.
And then Billy Freddy goes off to stop a armed robbery or something.
Yeah.
And then he's on the news again.
Yeah.
And this is where we see we see Shazam. Oh, sorry. Billy Batson in his superhero form.
Hold on, can we just clarify as well?
Yep.
We call the super version of Billy Shazam, right? The Wizard is also called Shazam.
Yeah.
So
good point. No, I just call the Wizard a Wizard.
Yeah. And we'll just call the super version of the characters the super versions because
yeah. And he's in Paris, have it on a date. We don't know who it's with.
Yeah.
And he's talking like, I think we could be good together, but no, I've got my things going on, you've got your things going on, and I don't think we'll work out. So then the person gets up, and we see the Wonder Woman costume. Yeah. And when this happened, in my head, the theme went, her movie theme, which is awesome. Yeah.
But she gets up, and the way her hair covers her face as she goes past the camera.
Yeah.
So you don't see her head.
No.
And then she walks towards the camera, and Shazam gets up, so the camera stays with his head.
Yeah.
And he's like, right, okay. I thought this was going to be a body double situation, but it was even better than that.
Yeah. And then she turns around, and then it's the Wizard's face on her body. And he's like, Billy, we don't call him before. He goes, yeah, what are you doing? He's like, oh, wow, I thought you was dead. He goes, I'm not dead. I don't have much time to tell you this. And kind of like tries to warn him about the Daughters of Atlas.
Yeah, but what is so funny about this is Damon's Honsu's head is on the Wonder Woman's body, which is like they're both different colors.
Yeah.
And the actress who's doing the body doubling is still trying to emote with her body.
Yeah. And he's
What he is saying,
yeah,
but it doesn't sync up, which
No.
is even better because it wouldn't. It's
a dream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she's trying like but I guess when they're recording lines and stuff like that, they're not doing the same movements at the same time because she's trying like you know when you're silently having a go at someone just with your moves.
Yeah.
So she's doing the puppy kind of like while his head's on her, while his head's on her body, while he's saying stuff that's it's so janky.
Yeah.
But it makes perfect sense.
It does, because at first it's like, that's weird. But then when he wakes up, he realizes it's a dream. You're like,
yeah,
that makes complete sense why it'd be two different sort of motions going on and stuff.
Yeah.
And so he tries to tell him about the Daughters of Atlas.
Yeah.
Does he say their names?
No. Yeah, I think he says their names, and then he says, what you've got to do is, and then he gets stripped away out of the form.
And then Billy wakes up and he's like, wait, what? Then he goes to talk to Freddy, and Freddy's gone.
Yeah.
Because Freddy's out doing superhero things again.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it goes to the next day where Billy has called a meeting with all the other Shazam kids.
The Shazamily, as they call it.
Yeah, Shazamily. Except for Freddy, because he's not there. He's off doing his stuff, which will come back in a second.
Yeah.
And this is where Billy tells them about, the wizard's alive, and they're like, well, I thought you said he died. He says, yeah, I know I did. I thought he did, but guess he didn't. And Mary is trying to nurse a hangover, so she's like, can you talk any louder? And it's like, oh, sorry. And then Darla's like, oh, what's wrong with you? She went, yeah, I had to go and see an eye doctor about my eyes. And Darla's like, oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, and Billy is like, yeah, right. Like flying over Darla's head, which I think the lady playing grown up Darla is great because she plays it childlike.
Yeah, so cute.
And it makes sense.
Yeah.
And like stuff just flies over her head.
Yeah. You're like, oh, she's still a child. And then so that happens.
Yeah.
And then this is where is it Pedro or Eugene?
No, Pedro, I think. Oh no, is it? Yeah. Eugene's searching the rooms, so it's Pedro, I think, is the one that talks the pen, right?
Yeah, because he finds the room, the pen. Yeah. And then, then after Eugene goes, shows them all the different doors, isn't it?
Yeah.
And goes, come in here. I found this special room. And he goes, okay. And then they find the pen, Steve, who could answer any question you ask him. Yeah,
and Pedro's like, I get him to do all my homework for me.
Yeah, because then you see, like piles of papers, like chemistry 101 by chemistry theory, blah, 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 by Pedro. Goes, wait, I might as well. So then
he's a magical pen. He knows all sorts,
So then they ask, what they ask Steve the pen about the Daughters of Atlas.
Yes.
And then he kind of tells them, and then he tells these books they have on them.
Yeah.
And this is also where he tells them what Shazam stands for.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're like,
the wisdom of Solo Man.
Yeah, Solo Man, which was hilarious. I can't find that hilarious.
And they're like, well, that clearly that the wisdom is a power that you don't use. Yeah. And he's like, what are you talking about? And he's like, that's not Solo Man, it's Solomon.
Yeah,
and
he's like, oh, whatever.
Wow.
And then they find out the names of the daughters.
You know what's even funny if they point out, actually, he's not even a god. They should have just, but then of course we missed the Solo Man joke if that's the case as well. So.
Yeah. And then they ask about the Daughters of Atlas, and he tells them names, and then they go, obviously, what were they? Hesperia.
Yeah.
Calypso, and then Athena?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Billy puts together like and Athena, and then he's like, oh, we get to go and find Freddy.
Yeah. By the way, I don't want to say it's necessarily leap of logic, right?
Yeah.
But at that point, he should have just shown the wisdom of Solomon to deduce it, to
Yeah.
put it together, because that would have made a bit more sense.
Yeah.
Not like necessarily deduce it from that and that, but just be like, when they research something, they'd be like, hold on a minute,
Yeah.
this links to this, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, so we see Freddy on the top of it's Anne, right? On the top of somewhere on the building, right?
School, yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I have to say, when I first saw it, I was like, is she on top of like one of those Empire State Building or something like that? Because obviously, then it does turn out to be the school. I was like, all right, because I thought it was a bit higher than it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, Freddy come and says, I know one of them superheroes, you know, because he's trying to score points with her. Yeah.
And then, so he kind of tells them all about it, and he goes, I can go and get the super if you want. And he goes, are you sure? He goes, yeah. 1 second, calls and goes, hey, Captain Everything, it's me, Freddy, how you doing? All this other stuff. And then he walks around the corner, and obviously does the Shazam thing, and then flies around as Captain Everything, Captain Every Power, and he starts talking to Anne. And she goes, oh, where's Freddy? He goes, oh, Freddy's fine. He goes, oh, I don't want him to come back. And then he's like, why don't you want him to come back? Because I don't want him to get hurt. And then he's kind of like, wait, what are you talking about? And then the two sisters show up.
Yeah.
Lucy Liu knocks him through like a wall. And he goes, oh, so we're doing this, are we? Thinking he's all slick and everything about the fighter.
Yeah.
And then she just steals his powers.
Yeah, she blasts him with stuff. He just turns back into Freddy.
Yeah.
And like, oh my days.
That makes sense.
I'm about to get this little kid killed.
Yeah. She's like, I've made a huge mistake.
Yeah, he's like, Freddy gets up and he's like, all right, okay. Here we go.
Yeah.
Shazam, nothing happens, and he just craps himself.
Yeah. And then they're about to kill him. Well, not kill him, but take him away. And then the teacher comes. He's like, hey, Freddy, what's going on? Are you okay? And then Freddy's like, no, leave, you gotta leave. And then Lucy loses her power of persuasion to tell him to.
And Freddy's like, look, leave him alone. Take me, leave him alone. Don't do anything to him. Don't do anything. And I was like, you know what? Yeah. When it comes to Call, he will sacrifice himself like that, you know. So I'm like, you know what? Even though he's got powers or no powers, right? At this point, he's just like, he's a stand-up guy.
Yeah. And then the guy just walks off the top of the building, which I thought, and I was hoping, but didn't happen, that they was not gonna kill him.
Yeah, I thought one of the Shazam guys will pick him up or something like that.
Yeah,
I like catch him, but unfortunately not. And when he splattered,
but he splats.
Well, you hear the sound effect, and Freddy sells it great. You know.
I was like, oh, this.
And he's like, why would you do that and stuff like that? And then they're like, because you're punks, you're jabronis, you're like, you know, I'm a god and you're human.
Yeah.
You know, you're beneath us.
And
so
Anne was like, this is where you can see Anne like, I think I'm on the wrong side.
Yeah. You know, you're just murdering people left and right.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
It's not good, man. Not good.
Yeah. I mean, we are good. We should be better than them, right? We are better, right? A bit like when Magneto is talking about humanity and mutants.
Even though Magneto had some points. But yeah. So they're about to take Freddy, and then we see in the distance Billy flying in. Yeah.
Billy somehow faster than everyone else as well, but
yeah. And
so he's blazing his way to her, and then Anne shows off her ability of the mirror dimension from Doctor Strange.
Yeah, which looked pretty cool.
Well, yeah, I'm not 100%. Okay, so the Limbering has the power of telekinesis.
She's got the power of elements.
Yeah, right. But then she can shift people, like keep people back with the flick of her fingers and stuff like that. So Lucy Liu's the power of verbal persuasion, right? Yeah. Verbal hypnosis, or however you want to put it.
Mm.
And then Anne's got the most spectacular power of molecule manipulation.
Think so.
Yeah. So she's all shifting buildings and stuff around.
Because they give it a name, but I forgot the name they gave it. Yeah.
And Shazam's dodging everything as he's blazing his way towards them.
Yeah.
And then when you're like, when Freddy gets close enough, Freddy's like, Billy! And he's like, Freddy! And then all of a sudden, gets smashed by one of these random buildings.
Yeah. He just appears in he's just inside a building like, ow, that hurt. That hurt. Oh.
Yeah. And then the other Shazam kids are like blazing towards him from far back there. And they're like, oh, well, the daughters of Atlas like, all right, well, let's head off, shall we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they start flying up to the ceiling.
Yeah.
What's the ceiling? To the sky, sorry.
Yeah, because they make a dome and they fly to the ceiling of the dome. See how I rescued you. See how I saved you.
There we go. And then then they put the dome, and Billy's trying to get through with his Shazam power, like his lightning powers.
Yep.
And nothing's happening because it reflects and starts hitting other places. And oh crap!
Yeah.
Ooh, that's foreshadowing for later. But yeah.
Yeah. And they're like, all right, we're gonna take Freddy here to the Greek dimension.
I guess so.
The magical barrier. Like anyone that goes to you'll crash into it if you try to go towards it, and if you from the other side, like people, so you can't get in or out.
Yeah. And then we've skipped to the news where the news are blaming the Fiasco.
Yeah.
What are they called again? The Fiasco family.
The Philadelphia Fiascos.
Yeah,
right?
the Fiascos for this. Like they either done it or have something to do with it.
Yeah. Even though you have no evidence of that, by the way.
Yeah, but kind of not wrong.
No doubt it's them dastardly,
Yeah, which was hilarious. And then they go back to the Rock of Eternity, don't they?
Yeah, they're like, wait on. Oh no, I'm thinking too far ahead. I was gonna say yes, they do for something, but that's not until a bit later on.
And so they go to the Greek dimension, and this is where Freddy meets
the wizard,
and that's when he calls him Jeff.
Yeah, and he goes, no, I literally just told you that my name was Freddy.
Yeah,
and he goes, when he's like, who are you? He goes, why are you here? And he goes, basically, oh yeah, we they took my powers away and stuff like, what powers?
Yeah.
Billy gave me powers. Billy, Billy Batson. Yeah. And then he's like, Billy Batson he gave powers to everyone. He's like,
the fool.
Yeah. He's like, why did I choose this guy? What's going on here?
He's so disappointed.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
And then the wizard's basically just given up. He's like, I just don't care anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Just shut up and go to sleep.
Yeah. He's the best.
Yeah.
And that's a bit later on where they try to get him to say who they are. Oh, then so we go back to Shazam fam.
Yeah.
And they're trying to think of a way to get Freddy back.
Yes.
And this is where they ask Steve how to beat the sisters.
Yeah.
And does he tell him? I can't remember if he does.
Well, I think they write a message about their plan, right?
Yeah.
They talk about it.
Yeah, it's the best.
Yeah, and then Steve's writing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Little do they know, he's writing literally everything they say.
Yeah.
Like even their secret plan that they had, he's actually written it on the piece of paper, which is amazing.
I mean, the sisters want the powers.
Yeah.
So they need to find out who the champions are.
Yeah.
And so they try to get Freddy to tell them.
Yeah.
And with the like verbal hypnosis thing.
Yeah.
And he's actually resisting pretty well.
Yeah.
And it causes him pain. And then when he's about to say the words, he's like, but he's probably struggling against saying it.
Yeah.
So when Steve writes, he can send a letter to whoever.
Yeah.
The bird, the magical people turn into a bird to deliver the message to wherever the person is somehow magically. even if they're in another dimension, whatever. Because logically speaking, if it goes to that person, then you'd think the Shazam family can follow the bird to that person.
Depends if it travels through dimensions.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, I mean, look, it makes its way there somehow, right?
Yeah, it makes it there somehow. Yeah, plot convenience.
And then Helen Mirren's reading what they're writing, what's written on it, and what exactly is written on it is So, Steve, tell the ladies of Atlas, the daughters of Atlas, we want to make a trade. Yeah, it's a good idea. Actually, does that autocorrect this and stuff like that?
Yeah.
She's like reading the entire thing.
So
we can meet them there. No, we'll meet them elsewhere. Yeah, this neutral location. Yeah, and then we can ambush them, right? And he's like,
wow. You just giving away your whole plan, but
it's hilarious though because the way she reads it,
it's
like it is a genuine letter.
Yeah,
and then it descends into comicalness, and she's reading it as straight as she can.
Yeah,
but really puzzled.
She's like, wow. Humans have got stupider sort of
things.
It's
like,
wow.
Oh, don't worry about correcting. Steve can autocorrect. Yeah, okay. Oh yeah, do it, and he makes some crappy pun as well, and it's like, that's a good one, boys.
Yeah.
And she's like, okay.
Sure.
Because Super Billy is waiting at the meeting point with his hot dog and stuff like that, and they're like, Captain Thunder. No, what's his name? Thundercrack.
Yeah, Thundercrack. Yeah.
What are you doing about the dome? And he's like, I got a plan. Don't worry, niggas.
Yeah.
Whatever, man. Looks like you're eating hot dogs and fries.
Yeah. He's like, it's a sandwich. It's strategic. Because whatever.
Yeah. So when he turns around, Helen Mirren's right in front of him. And he's like, okay, hold on. Right, so we came here to parlay,
Yeah.
Nowhere else needs to get hurt, right? Especially you. And he's like, so you're threatening a god?
Yeah.
Okay, you got good powers as well, but kind of,
Yeah. Once
this
the
way
powers are gone,
this is where he says the line, which I found hilarious, and no doubt you enjoyed as well.
Of course, man. I popped.
Yeah. And he goes, you see, here's the thing about you might have the powers of a god, or something like that, but I've got the powers of
from what I've learned from what I've learned from all the family.
Yeah, and then nothing happens, and he's like, I said family. Come on, people.
Yeah, and then
family.
Then they arrive. Like, oh,
he goes, people, we practiced this. Come on, man.
It's the best. Love this film.
And then they fight Helen Mirren, who's like, here's the thing, right? You tried to ambush me, but I'm actually going to take all of yous on.
Yeah.
So
she does.
Yeah, she does actually really well for herself, considering all the power. Like, there's 6 people with the same power, like superhuman powers, and she's just like, To be fair, she's been around a while because she's a god, so yeah.
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
Does she zap one? She zaps Pedro, right? Because he said he's bad at dodgeball, so he couldn't dodge the lightning bolt. But they take they do pretty well considering there's a group of them, even though they're not really fighting with strategy.
No,
except at the end where she gets the coils to like Lucy Liu appears.
Yeah,
and Eugene is trying to Hadouken her, distract her.
Yeah.
While the girls and Shazam, Billy Batson are fighting Helen Mirren.
Yeah.
So they get captured by coils.
Yeah.
And she's making a Magneto ball of density or whatever it is going to be. To crush Shazam. Well, it's funny because when the girls knock her over, he lifts her up and I thought he's going to backbreak her, but he does like he just grabs her and throws her into the ground.
Yeah.
Then when she's got the advantage, she does the exact same to him. I'm like,
Like, wow.
She just throws him across the warehouse as well.
Yeah.
And she's creating that big ball of whatever items it is going to be all together. And when she's about to throw at him, he swaps their positions. As in, he sees it, he grabs her, super speed, and they kind of turn around. So then the ball hits her.
Yeah.
Because the momentum of it's still going that way. And then he's like, yeah, you don't know about that strategy right there.
Yeah, he's like...
Wisdom of Solomon, eh?
Yeah. Oh, he's the best.
Yeah, and so he grabs her, they run to a porta potty.
Yeah.
And you're thinking, what? They're like, Eugene, come on. So they grab Pedro, they all jump in there. They close the door while Lucy Liu's closing in.
Yeah.
And then when she opens the door, it's the dude in the porta potty looking at her going,
what do you want?
What?
What do you want? He's like,
Yeah.
oh. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's not weird. And then they're back to Rock of Eternity, and they've put Helen Mirren's character in a cell. Like, now we've got you.
So this was the plan all along to make a trade for a trade.
Yeah. And okay, cool. That kind of makes sense. So they do that, but it kind of let me go to where the Wizard and Billy are. I mean, Wizard and Freddy are.
Yeah.
And they're still trying to think of a way of getting out of their cell.
Yeah.
And then the cell. Does Anne actually let them out?
No, they get thrown into the pit.
They get thrown into the pit. That's it. And then
with the
dragon, and they escape from that. And we find out that Londell, is it Lendl?
The dragon called Landon, yeah.
Yeah, and they find out that a dragon like basically sucks all the fear and everything out of your paws to make you like paralyzed, and it kills you.
So the dragon is Parallax, right?
Yeah, guess so. Yeah,
but not really. But yeah.
Also made out of wood, but yeah.
Yeah.
And so they escape from that.
Yeah, because and Molecule shifts stuff around.
Yeah.
And then she's like to the Wizard and to Freddy, look, they assume that you're going to be burnt to death by that dragon's blue flame. So you can get out of here now.
Yeah.
Right? You just got to go this left, right, whatever, right?
Follow
up, down.
Yeah.
AD start.
Yeah. And they're like, okay, cool. And they obviously instantly forget this. Because then when we come back to them later.
As you do.
Yeah. And this is where she kind of says, yeah, you know what, I don't like what my sister's doing, so I'm kind of going to help you guys out. Because Freddy did kind of save me in school.
Yeah.
And he goes, oh, yeah, I would have done it anyway.
Yeah.
And then he goes, oh, well, because I got superpowers, I'll kind of let them do it because I know in the end I could basically murder them. She goes, oh. And then she said, yeah, well, they're kind of lucky because I was about to rearrange all their organs. I was like, oh, that's straight up murder. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so they have their little goodbye for now. And then we leave them. And then we're back. Yeah, go on.
Yeah. Hesperia, Helen Mirren's character, because she has the power of the elements, she basically just opens the cell door.
Yeah. And
it's the golden apple they were after.
Yep. But Billy was playing with it this whole time, just left on the table.
Yeah,
But he didn't know it was golden because it was like covered in I want to say ash or something.
Or something like that. Yeah, so that's what they, to reignite the tree of life or whatever it is.
And this is where they realized that she got captured on purpose.
Yes, exactly. Because they were like, wait a minute.
Yeah, because and before that goes, oh, she's looking for the apple of life. Where it is.
And Darla's like, right.
Oh, and
so
also, we forgot that the Wizards, I've hidden it somewhere, no, we'll find it. That's when we see Billy throwing it around a bit earlier, in his hand. Yeah.
They're like, all right, now we've got her. Billy's like, all right, now our strategy, we need to get Freddy back. So we do this, that, or the other, right? Darla's like taking all the... I think she's leaving one colour of Skittles.
Yeah.
And she's walking over that bowl and she's like, even though you're a bad person, we're not bad people. We're not going to treat you badly like you might do to us.
Yeah.
So, we're not torturers. What we're going to... Here you go. You look, I'm going to give you some Skittles, but you don't deserve any colour but this colour, Yeah. And when she sees that the cell's open and she drops the skills and she runs off back to the fams and goes, "She's gone, she's gone." And
That's
then
when
when
they realized,
they smell portal potty.
yeah,
They say before, for some reason the stench of the portal potty just kind of latches onto you.
Yeah.
So they kind of sniff where she went to, which is like the doors of the whatever dimension.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Uh-oh," because it's got a lingering smell, but you can't exactly sniff it like a dog can sniff it,
No.
So they're like, "All right, we're gonna have to go through all these multiple doors." Which they. So then I think so. Helen Mirren's character then it's like she's opening another door and she's closing it. She's already gone through at this point.
Yeah.
While Shazam and Freddy get to that door to go back into the wherever the door leads. Back into their world. Yeah. They see Helen Mirren with the apple and they're like loud whispering to each other. There it is. That's the apple. We have to stop her planting it or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I was like, at this point, it's like, logically speaking, right? You've got no powers and the wizard's got no powers. Wouldn't you be best
to go and get
opening the door?
Yeah.
Now, like, opening the door to see where it leads to, because if it leads to the Rock of like, wherever it leads to, you might be able to go out there. If it leads to, because it's back to your world, right? Then you can call Billy, and you can take him back through the door.
Yeah.
Except they don't do that, because... No. I guess their logic is between that time and that time, where they don't know where the door is leading to, they might have planted that tree. Yeah. So yeah, they sneaky try to follow Helen Mirren back to where the throne room, wherever it is, right? Yeah. Where then the Shazamily are like getting thrown back through other doors and stuff like that.
Yeah, because they're trying to find that right door, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then, so then Billy's like, come through one door, and he's about to go to another door. And he's like, no, don't bother going through that door. It's a labyrinth. Don't lead nowhere.
Yeah.
And he's like, a labyrinth? Like a Greek labyrinth?
He goes, yeah. Like, dude.
And then if I was Billy Shazam, I would have raised my hand to Eugene, just like The Rock raises his hands to Jabronis.
Same.
You telling us not to go through the exact door that we probably need to go because you didn't describe exactly,
I said, bro, you're meant to be a smart one. How do you forget this?
Oh, yeah. So, they put the sisters of the daughters of Atlas put the apple by the throne, and then they go to the center stage or whatever it is of the throne room. And then they're like, like Helen Mirren's like, okay, so what we do, we plant it, we can get all the gods back into the. And Lucy Lou's like, nah, I'm here to destroy humans, so none of that, please.
None of that.
And Helen Mirren's like, no, we've won, we've already got a victory. What use of it is to terrorize those people?
Yeah,
And
then she's like, well, they done what they did to our father. We have to get vengeance. I'm like, not really,
No, not really. We have everything we need.
Yeah.
We don't need to do anything but look after ourselves, sort of thing. You know what I mean? Like, we don't need no vengeance. We don't need like revenge or fighting or none of that, right?
Nah.
We can live happily ever after.
Exactly. The end. But no.
No. But when you're consumed by hatred, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Hatred.
Yeah. So Billy, Freddy, and Shazam are talking. And Shazam's like, "Well, you're crippled, right? So I should go and sneak over and get the apple."
Yeah.
And then Freddy's like, "Yeah, but here's the problem, right? Every time you walk, your knees are cracking all over the place." And he goes, "What do you mean?" And then he tries to take a step, and you hear cracks, and he goes, "Actually, good point." And he goes, "Yeah, exactly. Yeah." And he goes, and you're like, "Yeah, how can a crippled boy, be faster than be more stealthy than that?" But hey, it is true.
It's true.
Yeah. So yeah, the sisters distract each other by talking about how they want to do stuff, but about other people don't want to do stuff and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
And Anne's like, "Yeah, but we probably should just leave them alone, kind of, because You know, we don't need to turn on each other, sort of thing.
We should be a family, sort of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Freddy grabs the
He grabs
apple.
the apple and kind of like mini celebrates, but then as he's turning around, his crutch hits a candlestick.
Yeah.
Which falls down. Yeah. And they all hear it and like, oh, you stupid child. What are you doing? And he panics. And then does...
I think they're about to blast him.
Yeah.
And then Billy just kind of snatches him out of the grasp of the beam.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they'll just like fly back to the doors.
Yeah.
Yeah. And get back into the real world. But, you know...
Yeah, that was
yeah, and then the doors of Atlas are chasing them. This is where they just kind of bust through their house.
Yeah, basically.
Which is linked to the Ring of Rock of Tani because the dragon is coming after them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then they go upstairs to the parents and go, yeah, you guys, in a super reform, by the way, you guys gotta get dressed, you gotta get out of here now. And they were like, what's going on? And the dad gets a baseball bat, I think. Like, what are you guys doing? What the Philadelphia Fiasco's doing here? And like, no, you gotta trust us. We're it's me, it's Billy. Oh, guys, we gotta tell him the secret. We gotta tell him our secret, right? We can trust him. And everyone's like, yeah, we're superheroes, but Pedro's like, I'm gay, and everyone's like,
we know, dude.
yeah. It's like, yeah, and he's like, oh okay.
Like, good on you for saying it out loud, but we all know. And everyone's like,
yeah, but that's not the one we mean right now. Yeah.
Oh, that was hilarious. It's like everyone knew before he knew. It's like, yeah, we know, dude. It's fine.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So they fly their family out of there.
Yeah.
While the dragon just busts out of their house, chasing them.
Yeah. Which is super messed up.
I think at this point as well, Darla, did she get zapped as well? She lost her powers.
I think that's a bit later on.
All right, okay, go on. So
because I think this is when they fly out, and then they get to a certain place.
Yeah.
And they're trying to talk to their parents and that, and then this is where Darla gets zapped.
Yeah. They get to like a
back alley somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah. Or is it car thingamajig junkyard?
Yeah, it's like a junkyard. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then she gets zapped.
Yeah.
And then so does Eugene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So Billy's kind of the only one left. No. So then they have to distract They have to get the dragon away.
Yeah.
And loose Leo on the dragon. So Shazam's like, all right. Yo, no, not Shazam. Billy Batson. Super Billy's like, yo, we got the apple this way after, right? And he just throws it into the sky, and the dragon flies away at it, and then Mary like snatches it out of the sky and just flies away to distract them.
Yeah.
While then they kind of get the family out of the, like, they get in their truck to drive off, right? Billy's watching, and Mary's dodging the staff, the lightning staff, whatever it is, the Shazam power staff.
Yeah. Eventually
gets that by it. So you got the apple that's falling, and you got Mary falling. And Billy's like looking at which one I'm going to catch. But we all know which one's going to save, because he's not going to...
Yeah, he's not going to let his sister die. It's like, it's not that dark of a turn. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, so he saves Mary. And Lisa Lee's like, I got the apple, now I'm going to just I'm just going to plant the apple in this baseball stadium. Yeah, this is a good place for some reason. And then, we it's going to spread its roots and cause all these creatures from whatever mythology to come out.
From all mythologies, really. I was like,
yeah.
There's so much.
Yeah. And,
stuff.
Destroy humankind because, that's...
Because that's how we roll, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Basically,
no more reason, but just it's not even like, for example... You know how, like, when they're consumed by vengeance, it's like, nah, I'm just going to play it out. I'm just doing it out of spite, actually, at this point.
Yeah.
Carry on. Yeah, exactly. So Helen Mirren's like, nah, you can't do this. We is it really necessary? You've got everything we need. Don't make me try and stop you. And she's like, nah, you can't. Shank.
Yep, literally.
the dragon like walks up behind Helena and just
Shanks it. Yeah, shanks
yeah.
it. He's like, oh.
And then she's like, don't Athena, you don't make me do the same to you. And Athena then tries to stop her, and then she gets so like loosely shoots a beam at her, and Athena then warps everything around.
Yeah.
So you think she gets away, but then so she's taken herself somewhere else, right?
Yeah.
But then she's looking at the reflection of a building, like the mirrored glass that's in front of her. And she looks a bit closer, and the beam is still traveling towards her and zaps her.
I thought that was so cool how they done it.
Somehow managed to his target out of wherever they are.
Yeah.
And then she's like, because she's got a little bit of blood scratches on her hands and stuff like that.
Like, oh no, I'm mortal now. And then you see her like the little insignia on her hands where she uses her powers just disappear.
Yeah. And then you got the mythological creatures attacking the city. And Shazam, they're asking Shazam, they're like, Wizard, what do we do?
Yeah.
Is this the bit on the parking lot, or is this am I?
No, this is the parking lot where they get the battle wagon. Yeah, it's the parking lot bit. Yeah.
No. What I'm saying is, when they talk about the unicorns?
That's later on.
Okay.
Yeah. Bit later on. Yeah.
So I think this. Yeah, Billy's like, look, Mister, I'm doing all my powers, but I don't know what the hell I'm doing. As you already said you made a bad choice of me. You need to take the powers back because you know how to use them. You got all this knowledge and all that stuff, right? I don't know what the hell's going on.
Yeah.
Take them back. And he's like, no, Billy, no. You actually
for a reason. Yeah.
Yeah, you are actually good, man, because good kid. Because I gave you the powers, and I waited an eternity to share them, right?
Yeah.
When it came to call, you instantly shared them with the people that you loved. So, and you went for help when you needed it. So, there's a lesson to be learned here. Unlike me, and I didn't even feel like I gave it to a worthy person, but here you are, doing everything you can to save the world.
You're like, oh.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, the wizard's giving you a thumbs up, Billy, right here, right now. You got the powers. You do what you need to do. Because I'm sure inside there, you know what needs to be done.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's like, all right. Okay, guys, there's something I need to do, and I'm gonna go and do it. I gotta go save the world. That's what it is, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
And then the Rosa's like, the mother's like, look, let me see Billy one more time. So she stands back to Billy, and Billy's like, look, I know you're gonna kick me out when I hit 18, and you know what, I'm fine with that,
Yeah.
And she's like, no, I don't know why you ever thought of that. Like, just because the checks stop coming, right, doesn't mean we'll kick you out. There's more to life than money, essentially.
Yeah. And he's like,
exactly.
And he's like, I love you, Mom. And I was like, oh.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then then he flies off.
Mm-hmm.
And then this is where they go, okay, get to the battle wagon. And like, what? He goes, the dad said they get battle wagon. And Mum's like, wait, what are you talking about? He's like, I'm getting involved in this thing, so let's do it. I was like, oh, good.
So yeah, they while Billy is trying to fight the dragon.
Yeah.
No, wait. I know that the non-powered Shazam family.
Yeah.
Are knocking down mythical creatures with their van.
Yeah.
What's Billy doing?
I think this is with Billy. Yeah, this is where he first tried to fight the dragon. Yeah. So why they're doing that?
Oh yeah, he gets burnt. He gets burnt, right?
Yeah, and that's when he's like, "Oh, it's the first time I've ever got my costumes ever got burnt." Like,
yeah, and this is I'm not sure if you know this, but they're going, like when he's fighting the dragon and he gets knocked down in the street, and then all of a sudden the guy who was bagging on him before, thundercrack, you go, and then the dude from the Captain Marvel 70s series, goes, go Captain Marvel, and I was like, I thought I was a bit too on the nose, only because at no point was it referenced, like, it's like an insider thing.
Yeah.
But if it, like, Because if he said, "Oh, you go Captain Marvel-less," like it's Captain Marvelous, right?
Yeah.
Something ludicrous, then you're like, yes, nudge, nudge, wink, wink, right?
Yeah.
Because it's kind of there, but we pulled the carpet at you off you at the very end. Like, I would say, I mean, what Captain Lightning, well, Captain Every Power, Thunder Crack, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Captain Marvelous doesn't seem too out of the realms of stupidity for, Captain Marvel sounds a bit too tidy.
Yeah, it does.
Especially since there is a Captain Marvel that people know more than just Captain Marvel. That's why it seems a bit more out of place.
But I think it's to the old school like fans that get it. So I was like, yeah, I get it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I got it, but I was like, the people that don't get it, they'll think it's something else.
Like, huh?
Yeah.
Brain fart sort of thing, yeah.
Yeah.
And then that happens.
By the way, I do like it when that kid, a guy who's grown up now, the kid from the DCEU series, he's still in his red sweater with the yellow rims.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I thought was
I want to say the same hair as well, but
Yeah, it's probably a wig. But and then they start fighting. It's where Billy finds out that he can get hurt by magic.
Yeah.
Which makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what goes back to the family running over the mythical beasts and stuff.
Yeah, well, I think Freddy sees Athena. Yeah. And he chases after her with his crutch. Yeah. So everyone else, right, is in casual clothing and she's in like cosplay armor. Yeah. Not cosplay armor, but logically speaking, right, if you saw someone in the Greek god armor and stuff like that in the streets, you must assume that that's what she wears, right, in the movie. But you must assume, because no one thinks it's out of place. You just assume it's a random cosplayer then.
Yeah, you're like, okay. There must be a cosplay show somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Comic-Con, wherever, right?
Yeah. And then this is where the wizard, where somehow Daria's talking about unicorns.
Oh, she goes. What do we do? Like Shazam, like wizard, all sorts of stuff, right? So what are monsters afraid of?
Yeah.
And he goes, unicorns. She goes, all right, I love unicorns. And he's like, no, unicorns are the most dangerous creatures in the animal kingdom.
Yeah.
Not like the fairy tales that they told all you kids, right? They're murderous. They're, fearsome. Yeah. They're dark.
And they're like, okay, what do they like? And he goes, ambrosia. And she goes, I know what that. Oh, we've got that. And then what comes up later happens. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
Yeah. So is this? So I think this Lucy Liu. Like, so I think she does something to Shazam, right? Yeah. Billy flies off.
Yeah.
He distracts her. He flies off to find Helen Mirren, right? Because he's like, I got a plan.
Yeah.
Well, then Athena, what's it called? Lucy Liu's like, I'm going to go and terrorize my powerless sister because that's what villains do. Yeah. So he's like trying to beg Helen Mirren back to life with his lightning powers. He's like, boom, boom. Which I'm like, no, that's for defibrillation.
Yeah.
That's for erratic heartbeats, right?
Yeah.
Not to bring people back to life, but whatever, right?
Yeah. It is what it is.
Yeah. And she's like, oh, like she's back to life a little bit, and she goes, like, he's like, listen, lady, I've got a plan, right? Because your sister's gone rogue, and she's like, I know. All right, I'll help you. Cool, nice, right?
Yeah.
So Lucy Liu is then somehow, right, finds Athena, but I guess because magic.
Yeah, magic. Yeah, that's way to put it. Yeah.
I think actually she might have saw her, but and she's like, what I'm gonna do is blast all you jabroni. No, she just find the people and she was gonna just blast them anyways.
Yeah.
And then Athena's like, no, I'm gonna stop this. And she goes, well, you got no powers, so yeah, Dragon's just gonna stare at you to death. Yeah. And then Freddy's like, nah, because he comes along.
Yeah.
And man's doing pretty well considering. You know how it is, right? When you're consumed by fear, yeah? but you fight the fear.
Yeah.
Yeah, how Jordan could learn a lesson from Freddie Freeman there.
Yeah, she could.
Yeah, because it was just like, yeah. So he was scared then, and he's like, well, I'm actually going to see someone I love die, so. Nah, man, now is not the time for fear.
Yep. I don't believe in fear.
Yeah.
Oh, bless him.
And then, just about the dragon's about to blast him, Billy grabs the tail of the dragon.
Yeah.
And he pulls it back, and then he's like, he's like, right, to pull the attention to him, and then he goes, Freddy, Athena, no, don't do that. And then when Lucy Liu looks forward, Billy just snatches the stuff off her hands, and he goes, gotcha, made you look.
Yeah.
So I was like, actually,
it twice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he goes, all right, you want the staff? Come get it. And then he flies her away from everyone else.
Yeah.
To the Tree of Life location, where Helen Mirren then starts making the dome smaller and smaller and smaller until it's just them and the stadium.
Yeah.
And Shazam, so Billy Batson's like, yep, so me and you, lady, me and you right here, right now. Oh, no. So Lucy Liu flies the dragon towards Helen Mirren and cuts a promo on her, right?
Yeah.
Which gives Billy time to say goodbye to his family down at the other end of the dome.
Yeah, which is quite sad.
While everyone watching on the other side is getting their video cameras out because their iPhones out to record because that's what people do apparently.
Yeah, rather than take life.
And they're calling them Billy and stuff like that, Billy and Freddie and stuff like that, and you're like, you people need to be a bit more quieter, maybe. Yeah,
but I doubt they ever even know who they're talking about.
Yeah.
It's like that scene in Spider-Man 1. Yeah. Number 2, where they see his face, where we won't tell anyone. Like Yeah. He's got the most like bland face ever. You're not gonna remember him after he leaves anyway. So it's that sort of thing, isn't it? Like,
yeah. Oh. So yeah, they're saying their goodbyes, and he's like, "Yeah, I basically have to sacrifice myself because that's part of my plan. Because we need a massive lightning bolt.
Yeah,
I need to destroy the stuff. Yeah." And everyone's like, "Yo, I mean, you got to do what you got to do. You got to save the world."
Yeah, you have to at some point.
Yeah, and so he starts casting lightning bolts left to right and all over the place. And he's like, Calypso, I'm coming for you, sister.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's like, as he's initiating his charge, the lightning bolts are going back into the staff because he's like, what I'm going to do is overpower the staff and explode it like a battery.
Yeah.
Because it can only contain so much ability, so much magical power.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. He does he uppercut the dragon?
Yeah.
He's like literally fighting a dragon.
Yeah. So awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. While he's timing his attacks and going to the lightning bolts, they shot all over the place so the staff can absorb them. And then basically, it's one of his things where the dragon is blasting with blue fire and he's charging through it.
Yeah.
Kind of. Yeah.
It's like fighting a Kai beam sort of thing, yeah.
Yeah. I will say also, is the fire also charging the staff?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean...
I think so, yeah.
Because then he ducks in and out because he's taking damage as well.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay. And his costume started turning black.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, Black Adam, but maybe not.
Yeah, sorry. Oh, Black Adam, yeah.
So yeah, then he just basically does his final, his what's it called? What's the one that move that Vegeta does? Final explosion, right?
Explosion, yeah.
His Shazam explosion, because basically he charges into the dragon with the staff, and he's calling Shazam, and a massive lightning bolt, like then goes through the dome as well.
Yeah.
And yeah, the like.
Well, the bolt can go through anything, to be fair.
Yeah. It's magical lightning, Yeah. So then the whole lot of it explodes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when the dome disappears, like all the kids run in there, the Batson family.
Yeah.
No, but they're not Batsons, are they?
Well,
the family run in there, and they're like looking for they're looking for bodies at this point.
Yeah,
And when they find they're like, when Freddy finds Billy Batson, not Shazam, he finds Billy Batson, and he's like, "Yeah, man, you did it. Now, yeah, I mean, now's the time for you to get up. Come on, man, get up."
yeah.
And you're like, "He ain't getting up," and you're like, "Oh no."
Man, he did.
I was like, "Oof, oof. You can't be dead. You can't be dead." Right? And I thought, okay, this is quite an ending because they're like, well, you know what? The DCU is finished anyway, so shrug. We might as well do whatever the hell we want to do, right? And I was like, okay, that's a decision right there. It's a kind of a brave decision, you know? Who would have thought? Yeah. So, and I thought also he's going to do the chain lightning Shazam attack. Like he did in Kingdom Come, where he just keeps on shouting it and you get multiple lightning bolts.
Yeah. That's what I thought, but no.
Yeah, because like you can say again and again before the first one hits, so you get like 5 of them coming at once.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah. So then, they the next scene is they go to the land of the gods, wherever it is, and they buried Billy already. And you're like, wow, that's kind of quick.
Yeah, he kind of says that later on, but yeah.
He's like, okay. I mean, did they just literally just take him there and just transport over there, and that was that?
I'm guessing so.
And then they're like, is there no other way to restore this world or whatever it is? And Shazam, the wizard Shazam is like, nah, I take the powers of a god, and there's no more gods in this world.
Yeah.
And then you hear it going. And I thought, right, so Wonder Woman appears. I thought once again, they were going to not show her face, like do like they did Henry Cavill at the end of Shazam 1.
Yeah, but
no,
it was Gal Gadot.
Yeah, full body Wonder Woman.
Yep. I was like, wow. Then I remembered what happens next.
Yeah,
not in the film, but like in general with Wonder Woman, what's going to happen next? Yeah.
But yeah, so she uses the staff to bring back the life to the god world.
Yeah.
And restores Billy. Yeah. Because she's the daughter of Zeus. Full on daughter of Zeus here, right? Yeah. Not the clay form that's given life.
No, she's the actual daughter. She's the seed of Zeus, basically, yeah.
Yeah. So then Billy's hand just kind of comes back from the grave, and I was like, not Billy though, it's Shazam, it's super grown up Billy.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, family, yes. And then he sees Wonder Woman, he goes, oh, wait, he's dusting himself off. Yeah. Dusting the, it's like, oh, why didn't you guys tell me? Hey, Wonder Woman, hey, we should hang out at some point, yeah?
Yeah, she's like,
I'm glad you got my message with the bird and stuff like that,
Yeah.
Because Billy planned this all along.
I like that. She's like, what bird sort of thing? Yeah, sure, okay. Wow.
Yeah. But yeah, she's like, yeah, nah. I mean, he's trying it on, and she's like,
too young for me.
You make sure you use the powers of Zeus well. Yeah. She's like, clearly you're a fumbling kid just trying to hit on an older lady, but
Ooh, and then that's funny and then the mum's like, because we missed that bit where Freddy kisses Anne.
Yeah.
And she's like, because she says that she's 6,000 years old and they kiss, and mum's like, Dad's like, this is very inappropriate.
Yeah. And yeah.
When the mum sees Billy trying to flirt with Wonder Woman, she's like, "What's our kid with older women?" I was like, "Yeah, something you need to watch out for."
Yeah, well, I will point out as well, like I'm not sure about 100%. I am on the trope of people who are X amount of years but look young and still act young.
Yeah,
because if she's 6,000 years old, she wouldn't act like a teenage kid that she is. I know when you're acting like a teenage kid when you're in the disguise, right? but still acting like a teenage kid. Yeah, I'm not.
But
yeah,
maybe 6,000 years old in her time that's the teenage years.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, like that's one way of thinking about it.
Yeah, it's the only
Yeah.
way without thinking. This is all weird. But yeah.
Yeah. So literally they got God to bail them out, but at least it made sense because they had Wonder Woman appear in a dream earlier, and Billy's quote-unquote obsession with Wonder Woman, but not really.
Yeah.
Teenage crush, yeah, okay. I mean, she is Wonder Woman, so yeah.
Yeah, she's Wonder Woman.
Yeah. And then, so the family's back at their... Oh, yeah. Family's back at their house, the new house under reconstruction.
Yeah.
Freddy's going out with Athena.
Yeah.
All right. You know.
Yeah, makes sense.
The Shazam family has their powers restored.
Yeah.
They're starting to eat food. And they have the doorbell ring.
Yeah.
And Billy opens it and he's like, "Oh, it's you!"
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's the wizard looking all snazzy and smart. He shaved off his hair.
Yeah.
And his beard. He looks like a normal dude now.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Yes, I just come to say goodbye." And they all think, "What, you're dying again?" It's like, no. I'm gonna travel this world. I've been alone for so long. I might as well see what the mortal world has to offer. And also, I come for this. So he takes the staff back because it is his staff.
Yeah.
And
they're like, "Wizard, we got a quick question to ask you."
Oh yeah.
What is our superhero name? And he says it's Shazam.
They're like,
and
then, yeah, that makes sense.
And then Freddy says, I think we can find a better name.
Yeah.
And that's what the movie is.
Yeah.
He says, I still think we can top that.
Yeah, and that's where it ends.
Even though he says all the crap, the joke of it being all the crappy names he came up with beforehand.
Yeah.
Captain Sparkle Fingers or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But I was thinking maybe they should have just had it when they asked, what is their superhero name? And they had the title card.
Yeah. That's what I thought it was going to do, but they didn't.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay, sure.
Yeah. But then again, as well, I say they would have to... If his superhero name is Shazam, then you have to explain the logic of how they're going to introduce themselves.
Yeah.
And I know in the comics, they got around that by basically saying... When they renamed him Shazam, when he was Captain Marvel and they changed him to Shazam,
yeah,
they're like, you have to say the words with intention behind it to transform.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, I can buy that. It makes sense because then he can introduce himself and distinguish it. A bit like when Captain Marvel Jr. was saying Captain Marvel to transform.
Yeah, because you got to say the person's name who gave you the power, innit?
Well, no, because Mary... Oh, yeah, well, I don't know 100%. I don't know 100% on that.
Because I'm pretty sure that's how... When Black Adam gave... what's-her-face? Isis. And... Osiris his powers, they had to say Black Adam.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So that clears that up, right?
Yeah.
By the way, being Captain Marvel Jr., when he had to introduce himself to people, it was like Junior or like CM3, I think was one of his aliases.
Yeah, and Mary Marvel was CM2.
Oh yeah, but she could still call herself Mary Marvel. Because
it's not. Yeah, because even in Young Justice season 4, she's in it, and they used to be Mary Marvel, and you lost your powers, so you're trying to use magic. Then she becomes Black Mary in the end. But
so that's how that ends.
Yeah,
and then you got the mid credits where you get the lady, and the dude from Peacemaker.
Yeah.
Walking through the forest or whatever, talking about how they're going to recruit this guy who is, he's a bit out.
He's a bit out there, but...
Yeah. We need him to join the team, stuff like that, right?
Yeah, because they say he's as strong as someone. They don't say who, but...
Yeah.
Kind of guessing Superman, but yeah.
And then you see Superhero Billy just zapping cans, soda cans with his lightning powers, and they're like, Billy Batson, right? And he's like, no, yes, no, what do you mean? Who? Billy Batson, that sounds like a strong name. Yeah, a guy who gets all the chicks, right?
You're like, oh, you just prove that you're a child. But yeah,
Yeah, he goes. They go basically. The girl goes. The lady from Suicide Squad basically says, "Shut up, man. We know who you are. We know you're Billy Batson." He goes,
okay.
and he goes, "Look, we'd like you to join the Justice." He goes, "Yes, I'll join the Justice League, 100%, 100%."
She's like, no,
Yeah,
we were talking about the Justice Society. He's like, wait, what?
yeah. He goes, "Is that the one Wonder Woman's on?"
Because
Because I'll join the whatever one that one Wonder Woman's on. And then the dude's like, "What is your obsession with Wonder Woman, man?"
Yeah. He goes, what isn't? What's not to be obsessed about? Like guess. I mean, like,
all right.
it's kind of got
Because
a point.
it's like, why are you gonna have two groups with the name Justice on
Yeah.
it? It makes no sense. I mean, like, you got a Justice League and a Justice Society. See how it's confusing. I mean, there's other terms of justice, isn't there? There's like, you got the what do you say? Well, he's like, oh yeah, the Law Society, the whatever.
That's just legal terms. Then he goes,
Yeah.
I like this one, the Avenger Society. Yeah. For some reason, I like that. I was like, oh, it's a joke. I get it. I like jokes.
Yeah. So that end credit ends.
Yeah.
And then you get the very end credit, the after credits, where Dr. Zavana's in the cell.
Yeah.
And Mr. Mind's like, yes, Dr. Zavana. After all, you know what? We can finally enact our plan. Ha ha ha. Except the one more thing I have to do. And Dr. Zavana's like, I've been waiting here for 2 years for you.
For this magical plan. Keep going on about.
He's like, I'm a worm. I'm small. Look. It takes me ages to travel somewhere. It's what it is. He goes, no, you got to tell me your plan now. He goes, I will tell you the plan once I've done this thing.
One more thing.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then Dr. Van is just going nuts, going. Ugh! And I thought actually it's quite hilarious because it's like it was a sequel bait, but then it switched itself completely. I'm like, all right, well, nudge, wink, wink. I enjoyed that.
I hope.
Yeah. But I like this. I liked this film. I enjoyed it. I thought,
I really liked it. Really, really.
I read that they just kind of just spammed the Wonder Woman cameos all over the place.
Yeah.
Just to get more views. But logically speaking, I mean, if you get people prepped for the dream sequence Wonder Woman, it'll make more sense because then you don't have to actually advertise Wonder Woman.
Yeah, exactly.
But then, I guess they just, it just seems, not going to say, desperation, but just like, the people that, like, we got a cameo here, right?
Yeah.
But, it doesn't seem to be helping. Spoiling film doesn't help.
Yeah, I don't understand why you spoil things like that.
Yeah.
But, I do hope they get the sequel comes. Because I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, the thing is, look, The Flash is a good jumping on point for whatever they try to do next.
Yeah.
Except that, if you ought to have people back that, if you're going to reset the universe, you go full reset.
Yeah,
weird.
I guess that.
Yeah. It's a bit weird not to, though. You can say that some things take place in the pre to the reset, but that might be murky.
You can sort of get around it with Shazam because even when Kurt Gunn, James Gunn was kind of talking about the new way to go, and he goes, "Well, Shazam's kind of always been his own little side thing, so we're gonna continue with that." I was like, oh, yeah, I guess.
I think they were saying as well, technically speaking, stuff that is like the Batman is Elseworlds.
That's Elseworlds.
So so you can have pre-crisis, post-crisis ish, depending on the Flashpoint, post-Flashpoint, if you're going to do that.
Yeah.
But that might be like confusing to some people.
Yeah, but say that, for some people, it might be too confusing. Like, I don't understand my brain.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's kind of like to get rid of. I don't know, like to get rid of this and sort of Aquaman.
Yeah,
it's kind of silly But
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not in charge of a multi-million-dollar company, so
Yeah. I think at the same, I mean, it's good that they just like look. Yeah, we're gonna make a change. We're gonna reset our stuff. Like we're gonna start afresh, right?
yeah,
At the same time, it's if you don't fully commit, then people aren't just gonna be like all in.
yeah. Makes
Even
sense.
if like they have good people casting, you kind of have to forego them.
Yeah,
Unfortunately,
yeah, sadly.
because some of the old cast has been a bit controversial.
Yes,
Yeah. So
yes.
and to say, oh yeah, we're gonna keep this person, we're not gonna keep this person is a bit weird.
But like which of them they could have kind of got around it, but then the cameos kind of make it they can't. If you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you never actually saw them with those particular versions of the characters. You know what I mean? Until this film now.
So I think Henry Cavill was meant to make an appearance in this film, but for whatever reason they edited that out. And I think maybe Batman as well, maybe Affleck as well, but I'm not sure about that one.
Yeah, because I know Affleck's in Flash.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we'll see.
We'll see how that works because it might just be like you know 100% the intentions after Flash, but after Flash is Aquaman, which still makes no sense because if anything, it should be before.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
science. Yeah,
yeah. So unless you're gonna say there is still fragments of like, okay, fair enough. Ant-Man 2 came out after Infinity War.
Yeah, but it kind of tells you like this is in between this and this. You're like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
So unless Aquaman is going to be something that happens at the end of Aquaman, and the Flashpoint reset doesn't happen. I mean, like most movies are happening concurrently.
Yeah.
Right, fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but we'll have to wait for those to come out first.
Yeah,
to find it.
We'll see.
Though I think there was rumors of recasting Jason Momoa as Lobo.
Yeah, I heard that. I was like, that's dumb, but okay.
Well, yeah, but no, I think it actually would be a good Lobo.
It would be a good Lobo if this was like 5 or 10 years from now. But like literally, I don't know. It's like, okay, I'll say it like this. It's like having Kurt Russell, Chris Evans as Captain America right now, yeah?
Yeah.
And then literally the year after or two after Endgame, he's cast as who can I just random he's cast as who's a big hero in Marvel that you can
the Human Torch.
no, than that, but like at least with that there's a big gap between it. You know, there's a gap between it. Yeah. But like, you know what I mean? And it's oh, okay, no, here's one. That's like having Christian Bale as Batman.
Yeah.
And then literally 2 years later you got him as the Riddler. I mean, sort of thing. You know what I mean? It's sort of like that. It's like, wait, what?
Well, didn't Zack Snyder said he wanted Christian Bale in Batman vs Superman, but not as a completely different character.
Yeah, but you can kind of buy it because what not as Batman?
No. I think he wanted him not as Batman. He just wanted him in there as a cameo of some sort. But then again, here's the thing about Zack Snyder cameos. They don't make sense.
Yeah, so
sometimes
it would have been fine if it was just a cameo. Oh, okay, sure.
Yeah. Well, he went a Jimmy Olsen cameo only to say, "Oh, it's not really Jimmy Olsen; it's the FBI agent." By the way, I'm going to kill him right now.
Yeah, but to be fair, who's Jimmy Olsen? Who actually cares about him?
Now we got Jenny Olsen, right?
Yeah, prefer that. But I mean, like, it's sort of those things. Like, okay.
Yeah,
I am confused. But
yeah, well, here's the thing. I think a lot of things are one of those wait and see sort of situations.
Yeah, I'd say that. Yeah, we'll wait and see.
So yeah, that's so as far as this film is concerned, I would like to have seen more. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, same.
Yeah,
same.
As for the rest of it, well, I'm actually looking forward to The Flash because it looks intriguing.
Yeah, it's intriguing
because Michael Keaton's Batman is in it. I have avoided the trailers, of course, but you know enough. You know enough that you're like, all right, how are they going to pull this off? Even though they're going to use the multiple worlds like sort of thing, the multiverse. Yeah,
we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. Will we get a cameo appearance from our boy Grant Gustin? or even John Wesley Shipp, even though
Nah, man, you don't need them.
Yeah.
Well, Grant Gustin, yeah, maybe, but you need.
and at the end of the Flash film, when will he turn into a different actor at the end of the Flash film
They should
because they
do that.
changed the universe?
That's what I'm saying. Like, well, that's still up in the air because if they don't, then you can still keep other people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Yeah. Oh, how are they gonna make that work? Whatever they do. But we'll see.
We'll see.
Because what Flash? Oh no, that's not coming out till June. What's coming out next month? Something's coming out next month, right?
I don't know.
I thought for some reason there's a super movie coming out in April.
Pretty sure you're right. I
Yeah.
know Transformers comes out in April. Movies coming out in April. Let's have a look.
Maybe I'm I don't know. I thought there was something, but yeah,
Maybe not. Sure, there is something, but I don't know. Was it May? Upcoming movies.
Yeah, super film in April 2023. Yep.
Okay. Well, there's Super Mario. That's technically maybe.
Oh, Guardians of Guardians of the, I was gonna say is it Guardians of the Galaxy?
Isn't that like June, isn't it?
No, it's May. It's May. But isn't it coming out in the UK early? I don't know. I thought
You might be right.
Yeah. Yeah. But there's quite a bit of superhero films that are coming out this year, like Across the Spider-Verse,
Guardians,
The Marvels, Blue Beetle.
Yep.
Yeah. Kraven the Hunter.
Yeah. Fast X. Yeah,
Well, yeah, I mean, you want to count that as a superhero film, but yeah.
Because they do crazy
Well,
stuff.
Vin Diesel is basically a superhero. Like, you're saying Dominic Toretto is a superhero to you. To me, he's the reverse slasher villain. Which kind of does make him a superhero if you look at it, because I want to say Jason's a superhero, but
Indiana Jones, technically, I guess. Yeah. Oh yeah, and Turtles, that's superheroes technically. Yeah.
Wait, Turtles there's a Turtles film?
Yeah, Turtles, Mutant Mayhem. It's got John Cena in it. It's CGI.
Oh no wonder. Okay. Right, we'll see about that. But yeah. So, but that's us closing off this episode of Trip Around the Multiverse.
Yep. I have been the son of Atlas, who doesn't exist. Wait, he does probably exist. I don't know. Yeah, son of Atlas, Kyle Charles, and
I'm the mythical entity that monsters fear, COI Chung.
And thank you for listening to us review Shazam. I almost forgot what we were talking about. Shazam. The Fury of the Gods. Have you seen it? If you have, let us know what your favorite part was. And you can do that by leaving a little comment on the YouTube if you're watching on YouTube, or you can leave us a tweet or an Instagram message. Also, you can find the links to all that stuff in the description box. And also, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe with your friends. Let them know about this podcast. And until next time, guys, I'd like to thank you all for taking a trip with us around the multiverse. Bye.
Bye.
Boop.